Sorry about that, folks. It was like, I had my volume up really, really high in my ear, and
I heard it.
I think it just suffered damage. Sorry about that, folks. Should be any moment. We're going to start a little bit early.
Jake, welcome back. Obviously, the UFC debut didn't go exactly, I guess, as you'd probably hoped. So just talk to me about that experience of dealing with that and kind of moving forward.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience for me. So it was like I went back to training. Sure, I did that 2-week quarantine, got over in there, ate a lot of food. When I got back, went back to training, you know. Yeah. Obviously, it's not like the easiest thing, but you slowly keep working. You learn from these mistakes, and you just keep going forward.
Well, you get your brown belt in the meantime, though, right? Is that right? You got a belt promotion shortly after that?
Yeah, I got my brown belt. Been grappling hard, man, in the gi. Been training hard. I'm the Alex Prates, my coach.
Was that a big moment for you? It's funny, these UFC dreams that everybody has of glory, but I feel like sometimes belt promotions are almost bigger honors for a lot of people.
It's crazy because, like in jiu-jitsu, because I'm an MMA fighter, everyone thinks I like no-gi, but I like gi more than no-gi, so I like training in the gi.
That's awesome. So talk to me about the focus between, the first fight and now. I mean, obviously it doesn't go your way in that first one. You get past it. What do you go to focus on?
Yeah, just a lot of different things, like after just learn from your, like the build up, not put too much pressure on yourself. Because at the end of the day, winning and losing is not the end of life, So you just keep training hard and just keep working and perform. That's the whole idea. Focus on yourself and perform.
I wonder, I don't think anybody wants to lose. Everybody wants to win, but is it almost a blessing to get that loss out of the way so now you don't have to worry about that perfect record anymore?
Yeah, not like get it out of the way, but just now I just worried about myself, worried about my preparation, worried about my focus, and ready to perform now.
Very nice. You got the matchup with Abdul, Razak, Alhassan. He's had a couple setbacks lately, but he's also had some very dangerous fights early in his career. So what did you think when they handed you that matchup?
Yeah, he's a dangerous guy, but who isn't a dangerous guy in the UFC, Especially in this middleweight division, so you can't really look at too much into detail about the matchups and everything. You just got to worry about yourself, focus on you, and just go from there.
Fighting in the United States, first time?
Yeah, first time.
Providing challenges in terms of, body acclimation, travel time, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we came last Sunday, so we've been here for a while just to get used to the time and everything, so pretty good now with the sleep and everything.
Well, talk to me about the goal here then, and this is the last thing for me. Is it just, to pick up a win and move forward? Is it to erase, kind of what happened there? What's the goal here other than just winning?
The goal is just, honestly, just to show my skills, perform. That's the whole thing for me. I'm not even thinking about winning, losing too much. The whole thing is, because I got good skill set behind me, whoever trains with me knows. So I just got to go out there and show everyone my skill set. Not even show everyone, show myself, to be honest.
When you say show yourself, why is that? Just to get over the last defeat? Or?
No, not even get over it. Just prove to myself my skill set is my skill set, if that makes sense.
You mentioned something I found interesting. You said you prefer the gi to no gi.
Yeah, I don't know.
How come?
It's just fun. Like it's not involved with fighting too much. So when you train the gi, it's like you're not thinking, about fighting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like just a martial art, and you just enjoy it.
So is it almost like it's not a hobby, but it's almost like it's an escape from the regular training? It's like, This is something I enjoy and can just have fun with.
Yeah, because I coach at the gym, Gracie Smith and Grange. I'm always coaching in the gi as well. And it's like, it is. It's like a bit of an escape. You're still training, but it makes you better too.
With the guy you're fighting on Saturday, do you feel, he's obviously a big, explosive, hard-hitting guy. Do you sort of go into the fight thinking, well, I know for the first 2 or 3 minutes it's just going to be him running at me, so if I survive that, after that it gets a little bit easier? Or do you go in there thinking I have to meet him in the middle and push him back?
I just got to go out there and be me, and when that happens, you'll see.
Good luck, man.
I noticed that one of your Instagram posts was hashtag Mamba mentality. Do you find inspiration from Kobe Bryant, and how has that helped you?
Yeah, it started off as like a joke when I used to play like video games, NBA. I used to always pick Kobe Bryant, and he used to always say Mamba. I used to play around with that, and then everyone just started, because I used to muck around with that so much, then slowly the Mamba. Then I started liking him, then watching stuff about him, and just his work ethic. Just like he outworked everyone. It's not like his talent was better than everyone, because everyone in the NBA was talented, but he just outworked everyone. So that's where my whole mindset is just work hard and you're going to get where you want to get. Good. Thank you.
Alex, 2020, I guess probably didn't go exactly the way you hoped. I mean, you only got one fight in. Didn't get the result you wanted, I'm sure. So what was 2020 like for you?
Like you said, it didn't go exactly how I planned, but I didn't dwell on it too much. It's just moving forward from there and keeping a short memory when it comes to the things that don't go as planned and looking forward to the future.
Yeah. Had to deal with the setback, of course. I mean, you're not used to losing. So what did
Right.
that do to you? What was that mentality like for you?
Yeah, so, a lot of people have been asking me, what is it like losing? What is it like losing? It's like, I wrestled for, I probably had 1,000 wrestling matches. I've been doing sports since I was a little kid. I've been losing my whole life. It's nothing new. It's part of growing. It's part of becoming the next version of yourself and building. And it's just, it's just part of this. It's all it is. And I don't focus on it. I'm just focused on the next win I'm going to get.
Nice. Were there any lessons you took directly out of it, though, that you go like, you know what, here's where we went wrong, here's where we went wrong, this is what we have to change next time we go out there?
I spent a lot more time focusing on the things that we did right, not so much on the things that, obviously there's always room to improve, there's always things that we can fix. We go back to the drawing board, we tighten some things up. But whether I won that fight or not, that's stuff I would have been doing anyways. It's not anything that, the win or loss on the record doesn't really change how we move forward after the fight. No matter what, we're going to try to improve and try to do better and try to be a better version of what we can do.
No doubt. Now, I know you were itching to get back. They finally come to you with the name Luis Pena. What did you think when that was the name that they gave you?
Yes, I was excited about that. I was excited. I wanted that fight. I've been wanting it that was supposed to be my debut. It didn't end up happening. So when they brought it to me, I jumped on it right away. I said, yeah, let's do it. Sign it.
I was curious because, like I said, you guys were scheduled to fight before. Did you guys push for this at all, or did they just happen to come back with that one?
Yeah, we did. So, they sent it to us, and like I said, right away, we jumped on it, and we're happy to take that fight.
Nice. Is there something about the matchup specifically that you like, or is it just the fact that, like, that was supposed to be the fight, so you feel like it's the right thing to do?
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of just like unfinished business. I wanted to get in there, and I wanted to do this over a year ago, and it didn't end up happening, and it just kind of felt like unfinished business. I like the matchup. I think we have a lot of strengths in where he has weaknesses, and I think that we're going to be able to capitalize on it. And I know it's a southpaw versus southpaw fight, so they're never pretty. You know what I mean? Like southpaw versus southpaw, it's like they're ugly fights. They're not always like the the prettiest techniques or look the best. So like I'm kind of expecting it to be just like an ugly, just like barroom brawl, and I've just been embracing that this whole camp.
That's awesome. Despite the loss, you're on the main card. You're here doing a media day. I mean, does it feel like maybe, hey, the organization believes in you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've gotten a lot of support from the UFC, a lot of support from my management, from my team, and it feels good to know that, you know, they're pushing for me and they're trying to build me and bring me up to that next level in the UFC.
Last thing for me, obviously you said it's going to be a kind of an ugly barroom type fight, but what's the goal here? I mean, winning is obviously what you want to do, but is it to like silence people that maybe doubted you after the last one, or is it to prove something to yourself? What's the goal here?
No, man. I really don't focus too much on the people who doubted me and the people who, I don't really try to like prove people wrong as much as I'm trying to prove people right. You know, the ones that do care about me and the ones that have been pushing for me since day one. My really, really close family and friends, those are the people that I'm focused on and making them proud.
Amen. Do you feel like Pena is one of those guys that just kind of has a recognizable name to fans in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So is that when you sign to fight a guy like that, do you feel the difference in reaction from people? Do you feel more people going, oh yeah, you're fighting that guy?
Yeah, people know him, so it's nice. I don't got to be like, yeah, I'm fighting this, you know, nobody can go look him up or whatever. So it's nice to be able to just like say the name. People are like, oh, okay, cool, right on.
And I'm sure you don't need any more motivation, but do you sometimes think like, well, with a victory, that puts me right there to be one of these recognizable names that I can then move on and push on with my career?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always trying to. I want big names. I want tough fights. I don't want anything given to me, and I don't want people who aren't gonna boost me, like bring me up in the rankings and help further my career. So, yeah, I think it's great.
You mentioned something earlier about how you've lost before in life, and do you think that mentality can help you in your career? Because you see some guys who they've never really suffered adversity or loss, and then when it happens, they kind of freak out and they sort of fall off the track. Do you feel because you have that mindset, you won't ever have that experience? You won't ever fall off because you just take a step back?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's just anybody. I feel like just about anybody who's made it this far in the UFC or made it to the UFC period, they've lost, man. It maybe not in MMA, maybe it was in the sport that they were, you know, kickboxing or wrestling or whatever the sport that brought them here was. I guarantee you if they were successful in it and they were able to make it to that next level and compete at a very high level, they didn't win all the time. So it's just, it's part of it. It's part of the journey.
Do you think in a way it's almost important to add to your character, to add to your mindset, to lose at some point?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, you know, the goal's never to lose. We always want to win. It's nice to keep a perfect record and moving forward. But I did do a lot of, I guess, I don't want to say soul searching, but like I you know, like.
But soul searching.
But yeah, you know, you do a lot. It is super cheesy, but I was very introspective on a lot of things, and I was able to gather a lot of insight from it that I think is going to help propel me to that next level.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
We'll definitely use soul searching in the headline.
Please don't. If you're gonna cut anything.
Introspective is much better.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's going outside. Thought I was gonna lose.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, co-main event, big name, right? I mean, does this feel like a big spot for you?
Really no difference. I don't get paid anymore, so.
Fair enough. How's it feel to be back, though, man? It's been a while, right? I mean, obviously you were supposed to fight earlier this year. It didn't work out. It's been a while since you've had a chance to fight. So what's the feeling like right now?
I feel it's great, man. I dealt with the injury leading to my last fight. Got that taken care of after the fight. Supposed to fight in February. One of my cornermen tested positive. And now I'm here and ready to rock and roll.
What was the approach after the positive COVID test? Because did you have to deal with anything, or was it just your cornerman?
It was just my cornerman, which is weird, is because as soon as we all tested again when we got back home, and he was negative, so it's like, oh well, but it's a bigger name.
It is, yeah,
So-
definitely. As far as your physical approach, what did you do? Did you say let's stay in shape, or did you say, hey, let's take some time off and not overtrain? What was the idea?
I took just like a week off. I didn't go crazy eating like I normally do, but stayed in shape and just because I knew something was gonna happen, and now here we are. So.
You said it's a bigger name, and it is, but and no disrespect to Luis, but is it weird to be on the same card with him, though, that they didn't put that matchup back together, but you're on the same card?
No, I think I think I would have just went there and smashed that dude. I think this is a better opponent. He's gonna bring a little bit more problems to me. So I'm excited for the challenge.
So I was going to ask, what do you think of Jeremy Stephens at this point, right? It's obviously you have a lot of respect for him. He's had some setbacks, but obviously he's a very dangerous guy as well. So what are your thoughts on him?
You want me to be honest, or you want me to just to lie and tell you guys what you want to hear?
Oh, we want honesty. Well, which one's the better headline?
No, be honest. I think he's past the door is closing on him. You know that meme with Scott Coker like waiting. That's what they're waiting on Jeremy right now. So
That's a good headline. So talk to me about the goal here, man. You said it, man. Just co-main event, big name. I mean, do you feel like you got to go in there and do something spectacular, or is this more just, hey, let's just get a win?
Get a win, but just go in there and do everything I've been. I switched up camps. I'm no longer at Fight Ready, so just being myself. Going back to the old me. And just being smarter. I learned a lot from that Benil fight. Once I hit him, I went crazy. This one, when I know I'm going to hit Jeremy, just be patient, pick him apart. I'm going to go out there and jab him up, get him emotional. He's going to go crazy, and then we're going to wake him up. So.
I like it. Last thing for me, this would be a big win for you. What's the plan moving forward from here? I mean, do you feel like you need to kind of like make up for lost time or get some more fights in? What's the plan?
Man, I'm planning on getting this over quick, and I kind of want to fight next week. And then I'm going to Maui, so it'd be perfect. So.
Why fight next week? Just to get double wages?
Oh yeah, double wages. Then we can ball out in Maui. So.
That's a good time. Do you really anticipate this fight being that easy to be able to do the rats back?
I think you can't teach old dogs new tricks, you know what I mean? And, he's going to go in there and just throw haymakers. I think I'm faster than him. I'm definitely better looking than him. So I'm just going to go in there and get the job done.
I will have to ask him his opinion on that.
Yeah.
You said, about the Scott Coker. So when did you see a thing in him that made you feel like he's on the decline?
Well, he's lost 4 fights in a row.
Yeah. But was there a specific moment that you think, this guy's just going to keep losing until he's out of the promotion, or is there?
You see he loses. He doesn't go back to his camp and work on anything. You know what I mean? He's the same fighter he was when he probably first started fighting. You know what I mean? You have to evolve in this game. If you don't evolve, you get left behind.
Does that make your strategy more easy? Because you can go in there and basically you sort of think, well, if I tag him hard, I know exactly what's going to come back towards me.
Of course. You know what I mean? He fights with a lot of emotion. I do that. I do that also. But I think with this time off, I got to sit back and watch these fights. And, a lot of time in my brain. You know what I mean? Just so hopefully I just go out there and execute, my game plan on him.
Cool. Have fun in Maui.
Yeah, thank you. We good? Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yellow.
Kelvin, good to see you. 2 years later, right? I mean, it's taken a while to get this fight together, but 2 years later, it's here. Does this feel big? I mean, I know that one probably felt a little bigger at the time, but does this feel like a big fight for you?
100%. It's a big fight, but, this is what we signed up for, and I'm 100% ready.
Yeah. Stepping in on 4 weeks' notice, right? I mean, how much thought went into that? How did it come together? Did you guys lobby for it? Did they come to you? You had to think about it? How did it all come together?
No, I got the call from my manager, Ali, and there was no hesitation whatsoever. Let's do it, I was just kind of continuing off the last camp, and I feel even better than than what I did in February. I'm a much better version of that. I'm a much better version than I was 2 years ago, and I'm excited.
How much better is it to prepare for a camp, coming off a win, right? You've had to deal with those losses that I'm sure were frustrating. Is it just a better vibe all around, I imagine?
100% better vibe, and I'm just ready and excited.
You talk about being a better fighter than you were 2 years ago. How much of your prep in these 4 weeks did you kind of lean on what you had done before, right? Game planning and tactics and all that. Did a lot of that come into play?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. We went back and looked at a lot of the film and looked at all the strategies we had put up then and incorporated them now and, made them even better.
I know you've been chasing after the title, but was this a fight, like once he lost the title, was this a fight that you were still interested in and think about, like, I got to have that guy at some point?
Yeah, I think, he's young, so am I, and I think eventually we would have been matched up.
Yeah. We thinking number one contender fight. I know that may sound crazy. You had the losses, but you're right there. But there's a lot of guys that are right there, right? It's a really interesting time in the division. So are we thinking number one contender with this?
I think so. I think the winner of this fight gets the Izzy rematch. Yeah.
That simple. Do you think you have to do anything special to do it, or is it just I get the win and I'm the guy?
I believe so. I get the win. I get my hand raised, and I get the chance to fight for the title next.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, this is a fight that we've been anticipating for a long time between two very talented guys. What type of fight do you think we see here?
Super highly skilled. I mean, these are two guys that are entering their prime. He's highly skilled. I believe I have the skills to match it or even be even better. So the fight fans are in for a nice fight, and that's why I've always liked this fight. Is just because I think the styles mesh up really well, and it's going to be a really exciting fight.
So, Kelvin, I took a look back at the video of the lead up to your first fight with Rob, and I remember the day you came backstage on the fight day with the belt and stuff, and rewatching it, I could see how devastated you clearly were. Do you remember what that day was like when you found out that he'd pulled out and suddenly the title shot you'd been fighting for was gone? Do you remember how that hurt?
I do, but I'm not focused on it. I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on winning this Saturday, and I'm focused on how I feel right now.
Is there any sort of maybe animosity is not the right word, but is there any sort of weird feelings towards Rob for that, how that all played out?
I believe when it happened, I probably felt a little animosity towards him, but I'm over it. Things happen. And, I respect Rob, but, we're going to go in there, we're going to take each other's heads off, like we said 2 years ago.
Is this one of those ones where you're just so happy the fight's even happening? Because if you got to the end of your career and you never had a chance to match up with him, it would have been pretty shitty.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this is a matchup that I've wanted for a long time. Not just because he was the champion, but because I believe it was just a very exciting fight. Our styles are going to mesh really well. He's a very heavy boxing game, and so do I. And I think it's just going to be a really cool clash of styles.
You said you've gotten better since that time you were meant to fight. Do you think he has as well, or do you think he sort of plateaued?
Yeah, no, he's gotten better and smarter, but so have I. I've matured more, and I feel like all the stars are aligning for me right now, and I just feel really good.
You talk about the stars aligning you. This, of course, is I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, when you fought Israel in that amazing fight. You beat Rob. This kind of ties in with the anniversary of that. Do you think this is the perfect opportunity to grab the mic on Saturday night and say, look, the middleweight division's a little bit murky. It's me now.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for me to get back to where I was, which is at the top of the division. And I want to be able to show that and confirm that to the rest of the world. What I already know is that I'm one of the best.
Looking forward to it, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
So you got the first UFC win back in November. I guess just how important was that? I mean, I know it had been a long journey to get there. How important is it to get that one under your belt?
I mean, it's something I'll take with me to the grave. So it's very important. I know I'm good enough to get it, and now it's finally starting to happen and starting to get some momentum, which is nice.
Nice. And immediately afterwards, you turned to call out Giga. You've been calling that for a while. Did that fight come close to fruition at all? I don't know.
No, he acts like he doesn't know who I am. He acts like he's the best striker in the UFC. Kid's delusional. So we'll see after Cub Swanson whoops his ass. I'm sure he'll be begging to fight me.
Nice. So you get Ricardo instead. I think you said he's like your half Brazilian brother, basically. What did you think when they came to you with this name?
Yeah, well, you saw that photo, right, where we look identical. I don't think we look that much alike in person, but Photoshop's a hell of a tool. So, I went with it. We'll see. I like this fight, so regardless of if he is my dad's illegitimate child, I like my chances with this one. I'm going to have to whoop that ass.
I like it. What do you think? Because he's had a couple setbacks lately, but it's been against some really, really talented guys as well. So what do you think of his skill set?
It's good. I mean, everyone's dangerous in the UFC. It's just I really like the way I match up against them. So, don't do anything stupid and go out there and show out. That's what I do.
What's the goal here when you go into these fights? I mean, I know you always want to win, but do you feel like you got to go in there and do some kind of, style, something that's going to be viral that people are going to pick up on?
I mean, that's always nice, and that is the goal. I do have certain, highlight reel kicks and that kind of stuff. So while that is the goal is to win first. But, yeah, if I can, clown on them, I'm going to.
And with a win, do you get on the mic and immediately call out Giga again, or do you have to wait to see what happens first?
I got a few people I want to call out. So we'll see what happens in the UFC and outside the UFC.
You call people out outside the UFC?
Yeah. You're not safe either.
Fair enough. Well, last thing for me, what kind of fight do you think we do see here? I mean, obviously you have a penchant for exciting fights. Do you think that's the kind of thing that we see here?
I would imagine. It seems like, he's coming off a loss, so he wants to get back in there and get that W. I'm sure he's hungry, so he's going to have to earn it with me. So that'll lead to an exciting fight for sure. That's it? All right. Excellent. Thanks, guys.
put things on it now. Do you? Yeah.
Now you can just go after all the people stealing your stuff. I'll just keep applying until I give it to you. Or just save some for one and bet our feet. They do it, they'll ask you to provide them a string, URL, and a key.
I remember trying to do it last time.
There's always plan B. And bet ours. Mine for sure works.
Okay.
Andrei, stepping in on a week's notice. I mean, were you looking to fight? Were you putting feelers out there to maybe get a fight?
Actually, yeah, I asked a fight, and I get opportunity to face another young guy on April 17th.
Yep. When you get these opportunities, who has to sign off on it? Does your wife have to sign off, or your son have to sign off? Y'all were like taking vacations and stuff.
No. Actually, I was busy because another my teammates, Juan, Spain guy from Spain, he's fighting same card. He asked me help him sparring, so I pretty much didn't stop training after the fight, and I had great opportunity to step in the octagon April 17. I said, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Nice. We saw you a couple months back. It didn't go your way. I remember after that fight, it just looked like you were especially frustrated at that loss. What was it about it?
I was surprised because it was my game plan to take him down like the second and third round, and I was kind of slow on the way back after my low kick to bring my leg back, and actually my wrestling coach Steve Maka and Mike Brown, they were upset about this shit, but listen, it's happened, and yeah. Because I saw his eyes, he was shocked, and he tried to like throw some like bumps and try to knock me out, and it didn't happen. And I thought, okay, it's about time, but take down, and somehow he is behind me and choking me.
Did that factor
game
in?
over.
I was gonna say, did that factor into you wanting to fight again so quickly? Just the frustration you felt from that one?
No, actually, my worried thoughts was about what the fuck. UFC might to kick me out, and because I knew like I had a great camp before that fight, and I was ready. I knew I'm gonna beat this guy, but just something happened, and wow. Because he at end of the first round he was tired, and I was ready to do my stuff in second, third round, and like wow, take down, and okay. I'm still upset about this. Okay. Like this?
Much, yeah. I could definitely see the frustration last time. No clear. So Chase Sherman, they come to you with this one. Did you know anything about him? As you said, another young guy. Did you know anything about Chase Sherman?
I had interview before, and somebody mentioned he's a veteran. So I think it's only two veterans stay in the UFC, me and Olenik. But you're absolutely right. He's, I believe, 11 years younger than me. Good striker. Every heavyweights have a heavy hands. He's a good hitter, and just have to be ready. Definitely it might be 90% striking match, but just in case I have to be ready for some wrestling. For some other takedowns, because he saw that shit what happens last time, and just have to be ready.
Can you even really game plan in 1 week? I mean, do you even bother putting in a game plan, or just at this point in your career, it's like, hey, I've done everything. I'll figure it out once I'm in there? I mentioned before that I have a great coaches around me, and I was happy because I called right away Mike Brown. I had a workout at that time with Paulina Hernandez. I told Steve Maka about my next fight, about my opponent. We just like get together right away. We watch his fights and create some game plan. Actually, we did, we make a game plan, and we get back right away at like 2-3 workouts per day. Even it was 1 week, 10 days actually, and that's it. Do you think there's a lesson here for other fighters? I mean, when I think of people stepping in on 1 week notice, it's usually young guys or people that are just trying to get into the UFC. Here you are with everything you've accomplished, willing to do this. Is this something more fighters need to be willing to do? I never say no to fight to anyone, and actually, yeah, you're absolutely right that I was super upset about my previous fight on February 20th, and somehow I wanna get back right away, and thanks UFC, Dana White, Mick, matchmakers, that I got that opportunity, and I'm very happy and very excited. Last thing for me, what's the plan for the rest of the year? I mean, a win here, would you want to fight again quickly, or you need some time off? Let's count that like 2021 starts for me like from April 17th. Let's forget about February 20th.
You mentioned February 20th. The Munhoz. Is that a fight you would like to have again, just to prove that it was kind of?
Well,
a silly
actually,
mistake?
yes, I want to fight again Aspinall. I want to fight again Rosenstruck. But listen, obviously, I have to be like other heavyweights, being aligned and one step at a time. And just I have another tough young striker. So.
Did you ever see Chase Sherman in bare knuckle boxing?
A long time?
Did you ever see Chase in bare knuckle boxing?
Yes, I saw his fight.
Do you think that that kind of almost guarantees that he's mainly going to just box, or do you think he will try and grapple you based on your last fight?
I don't know if his coaches and if he's smart. I guess he saw my he studied last couple fights, and like I said, he's a good striker. He has a great low kick, so I just have to be worried about this and just be ready for everything.
Is this the shortest notice you stepped in for a fight?
Actually, it's my first fight on short notice.
Is it?
When I was young, I had the thoughts, no. It was one time when I supposed to fight, I believe Tim Celia, but he was not clear with his doping, and I faced Kevich Carrera. And I remember I think fight was in MGM, we stay over there, we somehow get right away videotapes with his fights. We start and I was kind of nervous. It was like first time when I took fight on short notice. But when I was young, get back to my answer. When I was young, I said no. You have to have a great camp, at least 6-8 weeks to be ready for the fight. But now, listen, I try to keep myself all the time in shape. That's why I said yes. I wanna if I have opportunity to face him, step in the octagon April 17, I wanna do it. And so my management team, first round management, we set up medical right away, and since God, everything went through.
So at this point of your career, does this feel different, or does it just feel the same regardless that it's only on a week?
It definitely feels different because I'm very excited.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
and then they completely.
Jeremy, I know you like to be active, and you've only had one fight in like 18 months, right? And it didn't go your way. So what's it been like? Has this been a tough stretch for you?
No. It's been an experience. You know, I've really kind of, you know, I've been fighting since I was 16 years old, and even back then I was probably fighting, you know, 3-4 times in a month. You know, so it was good to take a step back. I had to do some mental stuff. You know, I had a lot of things to really close out personally. I've been doing a lot of different type of work, you know, outside of this, and it's been really good for me. I really have left no stone unturned. And, yeah, I had a lot of personal stuff going on. It was a good year to take off and just kind of take some time, really set myself up for success. You know, I kind of had to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward.
Very nice. A change in weight class comes along with that, I guess. Is that this fight, or are we thinking this is probably the move moving forward?
I'm up for whatever. You know, I'd like to come back up to 55. You know, I'm not a spring chicken no more. So the weight cuts definitely get a little bit harder as I go on. You know, cutting 35 pounds and you know, dry heaving to, you know, that Aldo fight. It wasn't even a liver shot. You know, I was kind of like, and, you know, nothing was coming up, and the abdominals were all tight, and, you know, it was just doing a lot more damage than it was, you know. And then I took a step back and was like, hey, you know, I think in 55 is really good. And my coach was, you know, he said really something that stuck with me. He's like, you know, why put stress where stress doesn't need to be? I have a lot of skill. I have a lot of experience. I just posted today, I'm like one of the nastiest knockout artists of all time, you know. So the power's there. Nothing changes. It's adding a little bit more flavor here at 55. So I'm excited to come back here and put on a show for you guys.
Very nice. You know, obviously it's been a frustrating stretch with the results, but like you said, here you are. You're in the co-main event. You know, I mean, I think that shows what the organization thinks of you. I mean, do you take pride in that, knowing that, okay, I haven't had the wins lately, but they know I'm gonna go out there and put on a show?
Hell yeah. It's not about the show tonight or come Saturday night. It's all about the win. Win, no matter what, and having my hand raised. You know, I don't like going out there and be one of those performance guys. Oh, I still put on a fucking show. You know, I got a family to feed, bro. I'm not making top dollar like I should be. You know, I'm not making these red panty nights, and you know, I'm moving up a division because I want these exciting fights. I want these matchups. You know, fuck a belt. I'm looking to fight like a Nate Diaz, a Conor McGregor. You know, and calf kick him and clear the fuck out of here as well. You know, so I'm looking to get paid and laid, pro. You know, so that's why I'm here.
Nice. Talk about the matchup with Drakkar. I mean, did you know much about him coming in? What do you think about him as a fighter?
He's a cool guy. You know, I met him at the fighter resort like a long time ago. We had a few beers together, and he was a cool guy. You know, he's really respectful. He seems like a powerhouse. Seems like a younger, sloppier version of me. And he's a powerhouse, you know, so I'm looking to go in there and have an exciting fight and put it on.
I don't mean to ruin your thoughts on him, but he was here earlier, and he was like, I think Jeremy's done, to be honest with you. He's like, he's not evolving as a fighter. Does that change your – first, you like the guy now. Does that maybe change things a little bit?
Nah, that's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, and, you know, he's going to respect what I bring to him come Saturday night, and we'll see if his opinion changes. You can ask him that exact question and the opposite when he's laying on his back.
Nice. Last thing for me, I think you kind of touched on it, but I mean, as far as goals here, I mean, is it to go out and do something spectacular? I mean, I don't know that you're ever really in a boring fight, but I mean, is this like I got to get that win and get that second check, or is it no, I got to go out there and do something, you know, amazing?
It's all about the win. You know, I do amazing things when I'm inside the octagon. I don't have to change. And to reiterate back, you know, every time you ever seen Jeremy Stephens lost, he comes back better than ever. You know, I fought in guys that he hasn't even fought in top 10. I'm fighting guys like Cater, Beast, you know, Jose Aldo. Look at the list who I fucking fought before you go and judge me. And then look at my performances, even so. They speak for themselves. And if you know Jeremy Stephens, you know, you guys seen me as a baby coming here at 21 years of age. I'm like the UFC's baby. And you've seen year after year, I constantly get better. And I don't like losing. You know, it's all about the win come Saturday night, and I'm going to prove to the world once again why you don't ever count Jeremy Stephens out.
Just to add on to what John said, he also said he feels he's better looking than you. So I don't know if that's like the worst line he could have crossed or not. You said you had some personal stuff to take away with your time away from the cage, was that like positive personal stuff or negative personal stuff that you needed to resolve?
I'd say positive. You know, it was definitely positive. I had a lot going on. Even before my fight with Cater, my coach Eric Del Fiero was saying, "Hey, you should take a step back." And I'm a tough mental guy. I've been through a lot. I know how to get myself out of there. I thought I could do it. You know, I had a lot of stuff going on with my mom. You know, she almost died. She's been a drug addict since I was, as long as I can remember. There's just been chaos in my family home. You know, before I got married in 2018, she kind of went off on the deep end, and I haven't spoke with her until the week before I fought Cater. You know, she had almost died. And, you know, she got into COVID, and, you know, for my mom completely to go walking, talking around, you know, to having to, you know, carry her or not carry her, but help her walk, to being in a diaper, to her not remembering things and see her situation. It was a sad deal, and I had to go in there. I had to dig deep. I had to deal with it. I decided to get sober. I decided to stop drinking. And really handle these things raw dog. You know, I wanted to deal with the raw emotions. I really wanted to go touch base with my mom, make sure everything's good. I had to kind of clear up a few things myself, and it's been a journey. And believe me, I've left no stone unturned. I've never been happier in my life. I've never been more clear. I've never been more focused. And Saturday night, you guys are in for a treat. I'm telling you, this is going to be my best performance.
Not to pry too much, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Obviously, drug addiction is something that it's always there, right? But how is your mother doing at the moment?
She's safe. She's in a safe place. She needs constant care. She's in a rehabilitation. She's constantly getting therapy. So I know my mom's safe. You know, my mom surrounded herself with very abusive guys. He was drugging her up so bad that she was just like in a bed, you know, all the time, drugged up, and that type of drug was eating holes in her brain. So now she kind of has like an Alzheimer's type disease. She remembers like older stuff, not so much like frequent. She don't remember my kids. She was never really around in their lives and stuff, but didn't really remember my kids type situation. So as you can tell, that's a tough situation. And you know, she's safe. She's not getting beat down no more. She's in a safe place, and I've made contact with her. I pretty much call her every other day. You know, I try to make it every day, but pretty much like every other day, and she's in a good place and doing a lot better now. And you know, that's why I'm fighting. You know, try to get her in a better place, get her the best help that I can. And it's been a year off, so it's a long time coming, man. And you know, Saturday, you'll see why and what I've been doing.
Can you even put into words the mind fuck that was hearing from your mother who you hadn't spoken to in ages, like days before your fight?
You just said it best, man. It was a mind fuck. You know, you can actually just look at the picture of me and Drakkar Klose, and it's the picture between right before I fought Cater, and you just look in my eyes. I just didn't look happy. I don't even like looking at that picture just because like I was in such a fucked up place, and I had to go out there and fight and perform. You know, I was doing great. You know, in that performance, you know, I was fucking kicking his ass. You know, and I just got caught. It was a beautiful timed elbow, and it was his time, and I just had to sit back. You know. And really go from there. And then it kind of all made sense with my coach saying, "Hey, I really feel like a step back is going to be better for you." I didn't fucking listen, and you know, I paid the price. But I went back and really have been doing a lot of work, and I feel good. I'm happy. I'm inspired. And there's no amount of pain that any man can inflict on me that I haven't dealt with, having to deal with going back and seeing your mom like that. So
yeah, for real, man. You mentioned you quit drinking. How's that been?
Fucking fantastic, dude. Better connection with the wife, the kids. I mean, quitting one thing's opened up many things for me in my life, you know, let alone just my happiness, the way I approach life, the way that I'm feeling, the way that I'm just training. People just haven't seen me in a while, and they're like, "Man, you just seem different. You feel different. Like there's just something about you." And yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm excited to go down this path because the better me in the future, you know, doesn't need a beer.
How much were you drinking, if you don't mind me asking?
I was drinking quite a bit, you know, and then when I would drink, you know, why I would drink. It really doesn't matter how much you drink. It's kind of like why. Why are you drinking? You know, and if you can ask yourself that and really answer honestly and really deeply, then you'll know. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Athletically, has it improved you, do you think? Just not drinking?
Oh, yeah. I mean, clear-headed, you know, I'm making all my appointments. I'm not like, drinking on the weekend and then kind of like taking off Monday and then coming in Tuesday. My mood's better, the way I approach life, connection with people, a lot more friendlier, a lot more happier, a lot more like sincere. Connections in my family, my relationships, I've brightened up. I've inspired them my whole life. And for me to kind of do that, alcohol is a fucking slippery slope, dude, and it's deeply embedded in both sides of my family. And that's, some people say, oh, why would you say that? It's not like there's alcohol is like my family's like terrible, but, as you know, alcohol is a slippery slope.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, man, and I'm glad to hear your mother's in a safe place.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Enjoy the performance Saturday, bro. You guys are gonna be in for a treat. This guy's going to sleep.
Rob, were you disappointed that you had to leave quarantine? I know that's kind of your thing. Have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's I hate leaving the room. It's one of those things where I come here to work, so I just put my head down and get it done. But here I am.
Nice. We appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Talk about the change in opponent. Like obviously you were already getting ready for a big fight against a top contender. How much adjustment is made with this change in style, change in opponent?
As much as you can, right? So, fortunately, I was given a month to still do that, and I had previously camped for Gastelum as well. So, both things just lead up into my favour with actually accepting the change. But also, I've had fights recently with southpaws, so it's not too much of a stretch. It's not too different. Obviously, stylistically, Gastelum and Costa are two very different fighters, but it is what it is.
Nice. As far as this fight itself, obviously we know the history. Is it a fight that you felt like needed to happen? Like after everything that went down, did you feel like, I don't know, that you owe him a fight or something like that?
Nah, it's just like just made it special, if you would. It's not something like I was always thinking about. Oh, I got to fight him one day. I can't believe that fell through. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, we were supposed to fight at one point, and here we are. Our paths cross again.
Nice. I hate to say, was it a blessing, like what happened to you? I mean, I just wonder how that first fight would have gone. You know what I mean? Like we now knowing where you are mentally, physically, all those things. Like, is it almost better you didn't fight that day? You think?
Maybe. Who knows? I guess the real thing is though, I'm a very different beast than I was back then. I feel like from a technical point of view, I'm a much more complete athlete, but as well as the mental game, which only reinforces all of that, is just never been better.
Nice. We haven't seen you fight here in the States in a while. Is it any different, challenging, as far as travel and timing and all that stuff? Is it challenging for you at all, or is it something that you have down at this point?
I've done it enough times to know what to do. It's more of a stretch, so a little bit further, and the quarantine regulations and everything over here is a little different than Abu Dhabi, say, but it's just part of the business, part of the work.
We know it's a big fight, and we kind of know your attitude on it, but with a win here, would you campaign for a title shot at all? Like, would you even mention it? I know you'd certainly take it if they give it to you, but I know that's not, you're chasing after it. So do you even bring it up?
Who knows? Maybe I'll surprise everybody. We'll wait and see. My calendar and scheduling only goes up until Saturday, because it's going to be a hard fight. I can't look past him.
Or maybe you just grab the mic and just start talking mad shit and calling people out.
Maybe. Who knows?
The last thing for me, what type of fight are you expecting? I mean, I think we're all pretty excited about this. You two guys are two very high-level athletes and have both been in some battles. I mean, are you expecting this to be kind of one of those epic kind of clashes, or are you hoping you can go out and dominate them?
I'm hoping I can go out and dominate, right? But I'm expecting an absolute war. Like you said, we're both very well-rounded. He's got dangerous power. He can wrestle, grapple. He's tough as nails. I can do the same. It's I expect the worst, hope for the best.
Rob, I feel throughout your career there'll be something like you'll do an interview, a quote will get taken, and then a narrative will just get formed about it forever. Is the narrative that you're not really interested in a rematch with Israel the weirdest one you've had to hear?
I don't know. I don't know who does this stuff. If I ever find out, I don't know, I'll give them a stern talking to or something. Yeah, I guess things just. That's the problem with how I get. One of the drawbacks with how I choose to operate is just that sometimes people can do that, But I'm just doing my thing. This is my path. This is my journey, and I'm pretty comfortable just being me.
Do you think there's just something that maybe it's even like an Aussie thing and a cultural thing where people sort of expect in the fight game you to be braggadocious and you to outwardly campaign for stuff, and it's just not really your nature? So do you think it is always going to happen that you're going to have these like mistranslations of what you feel?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to how I do things. I'm very real to myself and my fans, and everybody knows that, and they like me for it. But I'm not. I don't brag. I don't hype myself up. I don't get trash talk. I don't get into any of that side of things. And I'll lose out on some of the benefits for that. But I'll also, I'm just being me. I don't think I should do anything else other than be myself.
When he was here earlier, Kelvin said that he always wanted to fight you, and not just because you were the champion, but because stylistically he thinks you two blend very well and can only really put on an exciting fight. Do you feel the same?
Certainly. I think it's going to be a cracker of a fight. yeah, it's going to be fireworks.
Is that because you're kind of similar, or do you just think where you maybe have holes, he has strengths, and vice versa, or how do you feel? Why do you feel it meant?
I think we're both, like, skill set wise, we both are quite well rounded. So, and I think when you, and we're both, I think we both lean heavily into the striking side of things. So I think just the formula works.
Is it still a fight that excites you? I know that you said before about how Darren Till, you're like stressed. I know, man. It's actually on silent, but it still fucking rings. Sorry, yeah. I know with Darren Till, you said that it was like a tense fight. Do you think for this one, do you feel that tension ahead of time, or are you just excited for this one?
I don't get excited for fights. Like this, you do understand I'm fighting someone.
Yes, correct. That's true. So I hear. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how someone can be like, wake up in the morning like, you can't wait to get this one. No, it's.
I don't know. Jeremy Stevens was here earlier, and he seemed real excited to get it.
He's a psycho. I saw him when he was getting dressed, and it looked aggressive. He scares me, man. He's a good guy, but the thing is, it's just a fight. You know, and it's just a fight. It's not a fight I don't like. It's just a fight. I'm in this industry to fight. This is how I provide for my family. This is what I do. This is my job. And the fact that I don't hate it, is a benefit.
I have a man in attendance at Marvin Vittori. He said last week he wants to be there to watch you guys ringside. Did you manage to catch his fight? And what?
Yeah, I did watch it.
What did you think?
I thought it was a smart fight. I thought he did what he had to do to get across the line. You know, especially considering it was a late replacement and whatnot. I think he saw. I don't know if that was his game plan the whole time, like to wrestle his previous opponent, but he had a lot of success there and just went with it. I thought it was a smart fight. I thought he was disciplined to go through with that.
In terms of missing out on Costa, do you think stylistically this one's a harder fight, or is Costa the harder fight?
Everyone in this top 10 is a killer. You sleep on anyone, they'll do you. It's too dangerous. Everyone can beat anyone, I believe, in this upper echelon of the division. And I just got to go out there and I got to be ready for the absolute best Kelvin. And when Kelvin's on, he's dangerous, very dangerous.
Do you think he's actually underrated almost?
No. It's that whole you're only as good as your last fight. It's like good fighters start having like a couple bad patches because they lose to the best in the world, right? And everyone writes them off, you know. But I guess that's just the culture and nature of the beast. When what you do is combat and fighting.
Thanks, Rob.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Razak, obviously this hasn't been the greatest two-fight stretch of your career, right? So talk to me. I mean, how difficult has this been, I guess, maybe kind of mentally to have to deal with these losses?
It's very difficult, very, very difficult. You know, you go from being so dominant in a way that you never expected something like this to happen to you, and then getting there and something like this happened. But I've also realized something, that in my last 2 fights, I came in with the wrong mentality in both fights. One, I came in with my weight not being where it's supposed to be as a fighter. You know, no matter what the pain I've gone through, I should have still be a professional coming on weight. You know, the weight was too high to cut from all the way there, and then come down was just too much. But so that's why when my manager talked to me to try this 85, so I was like, yeah, it would be good for me for right now because I was too high, and to cut it naturally would take a lot of time. So that's why I try to start to, you know, I try to start to 85 to see how things go from there.
Nice. So I saw on social media you had posted, you know, bad decisions. Where you credited bad decisions. So is that the bad decisions you're talking about? Or are you talking about tactics in the fight itself?
Yes, bad decision as in my health-wise, my food-wise, like everything I ate was, I was still thinking 2 years back. So let's say before I went through all the situation that I went through, I could eat the same kind of food, right? And I will weigh good. My body will feel right. But after that 2 year layoff, with all the weight that I gained, the body was not responding the same way it was responding 2 years back. You see? And in my head, I'm thinking I've done it before, it's just going to happen. Instead of listening to what my body was going through. And mentally, you know, like I said, all Africans were raised in a way that you're always mentally strong. And you're always alone in a way that if something happened, you can deal with it by yourself. And going through what I went through, I felt like I'm okay. I don't need help from anybody, you know. And actually, when I sat down and talked to Kumar, it's like, look, we all go, this is not a normal situation for human beings to go through, especially with the kind of trauma. So you might need to sit down with somebody and talk to somebody to help you to make sure your mind is at the right place when you get in the ring. So I was like, yeah. So
nice. So now the move to middleweight. Did you do anything differently in terms of like trying to pack muscle on, or is this just like, hey, I won't have to cut weight, or what do you think?
Both in a way. So I didn't gain weight. You know, a lot of people, when you're trying to move to a different division, it's like I need to gain more weight. But my coaches warned me. One, you were already way above what you're supposed to weigh to go to. So you were already walking at somebody that's supposed to be at 85 already. So right now, you just make sure we cut the weight right, so we can have the strength, the endurance, and everything to be able to fight and compete with their strength at 85. So that's what we did.
Do you feel like it's a permanent move, or is this just kind of like, let's see how we feel, and then we'll go from there?
For me, right now, I feel like let's see how we feel. But I like 85 too, you know. It's both divisions. It's like, if I feel like it will be easy to cut the 85, I'll just say 85. If I feel like I can find a good dietitian that will help me for the 70 to be easy like it used to be, then I'll definitely go to 70, because there's a lot of things you have to look at 85. 85, a lot of guys are way taller than I am, long reach. You know, it might get to some point, you know.
So all these variables, and then it's Ramadan this week as well, right?
Yes.
So does that complicate things these final couple of days?
Not really. Because as a traveler, I can choose to fast now, or I can fast later since I'm a traveler. So I'm taking some few days off, and then I'm doing some few days while I'm fasting. It's also going to help me cut the weight, so that's actually going to help.
Very nice. Talk about the matchup itself. Jacob, did you know much about him? Did you watch his game? What do you think about him?
Yeah, I know a little about him. You know, I never underestimated him. You know, like it's a fight. Especially a lot of people saw his last fight, and that's all they know him about. Just like my last fight, you get caught, and things happen. So I'm not looking down. If anybody's looking down on him, I'm not looking down on him at all. I know he's a good fighter. He's an all-round fighter. And I know he has a good training partner too, Whittaker. So Whittaker is a good fighter. So he can tell you that he has to be a good fighter to be able to have a good training partner like that. So I'm not looking down on him at all.
Nice. Last thing for me, obviously the goal here, you want to get back into that win column. But
yes.
What's most important? I mean, is it like proving something to yourself that you still belong, or is it proving something to other people, maybe people that have doubted you? Like, what's most important?
I think everybody have doubted me right now, especially with the last 2 fights. Even the people that believed in me, I feel like they don't believe in me as much anymore because of what I went through. But it's not just to prove to them, to prove to myself that I am here, and I'm not going nowhere. And also, it's hard for somebody to come from winning a lot, and all of a sudden, 2 straight losses like that. It hurts. It hurts the feeling. It's like, so right now it makes me even way more angry. I need some win. I need it really bad, for myself, for my family, for my soul. I know the most hurtful part about the last fight is my son. He's gotten to an age that he's watching the fights. I don't like my family watching my fights at all. But since my wife, I've Googled my name on YouTube so much, so he just clicked on my name and he watched my fight. And I was so hurtful that he saw my last one, what happened. It's really, really hurtful. And that's not something I want to repeat or ever lose again, for my son to go on there and then watch his dad losing. That's something that'll never happen again.
Just a quick one from me. You mentioned that you're sort of warming up to the idea of sitting down and talking to someone about how it can help you. Has it helped you? Or have
Very,
you?
very. Not just talking to a professional, but talking to other friends and other athletes. Like I said, Kamaru doesn't have to help me at all. But for me, he's a good friend. I consider him a brother. Sat down and talked to me, helped me in so many ways. Not just that, other fighters, my coaches, they also helped me. So instead of me feeling like I need to deal with this by myself, or I'm thinking nobody knows my pain but just me, but that doesn't help me at all. So they were able to help me. So I feel like it helped a lot.
Is there something special about it being someone like Kamaru who's so successful that you realize that even at the top, people still have these thoughts, they still have these doubts?
Yes, it's because, he's very disciplined in everything he does. Anything he can do that can help him physically and mentally, he will do it, right? And he's the kind of person that when he saw that somebody's lacking in that department and they might be taking it lightly, he'll talk to them. He'll be like, so what we talked about is, for me mentally, like I said, we were raised in a way that you go all day, no food. You go a couple of days, no food. You have to hustle and find a way to. So you grow up feeling I do everything by myself. I don't have it, I need to go do it by myself, you see? And so a lot of us don't believe in talking to a mental coaches or psychiatrist. If you say something like that, I'll be like, no, we don't. I don't.
Well, it's actually funny. I think the last time I spoke to you, I said, have you thought about talking to someone? And you laughed at me and said no.
Yeah, yep. It's like, no, we don't need that. We just deal with it ourselves in our head. And I realized, especially as time went on, that it affected me more than it affected me. It's like I'm not myself anymore. Even when I go to places, it's kind of embarrassing in a way. I'm thinking, did this really happen to me? How? But talking to somebody, you're realizing, there's God put some stuff in your way for a reason. God was trying to help me in a way, so it's not just to punish me, but just to teach me a lesson in a way. So, you get to learn from that. So, yes, just friends, coaches, and psychiatrists, kind of help so much.
Well, I'm glad Kamaru and I could both,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, man.
We good? Yeah, thank you very much.
How y'all doing today?
How are you?
Great, John. How are you?
Been a while, right? I mean, I know you wanted to get back to it, and you had to wait a little bit, and the canceled fight and all that. So what's it feel like right now to be back on a fight week?
Oh, it feels amazing. You know what I'm saying? I really have had such an amazing camp for this fight, as well as just an amazing time being able to recenter myself and refocus from the suspension all the way to now. You know, it's been a long time since I was back here in front of everybody, and I took a lot of time to do some personal growth, not only in my fighting career, but in my personal life. And I feel like it's pretty much just added to the evolution of Violent Bob Ross.
That's awesome. You know, you were supposed to have the fight a couple months ago. Obviously, that got scrapped. Frustrating, or were you okay with it? Gave you a little extra time to keep working on these things? What was the feel?
It was frustrating at the time, you know what I'm saying? I no offense to Drakkar or anything, he's a great fighter, but I felt as though the short notice of that fight played well into my hands. And with Drakkar being, as well touted and high ranked as he is, I looked at that as a very big stepping stone for me. So I was a little frustrated for that fight to fall through, but at the end of the day, I got a small paycheck from the UFC, as well as extra time to go ahead and actually prepare and have a camp. So that was nice. It was good to be able to go in there and just live comfortably for a little while as I get ready for this.
Was it weird then that you end up on the same card with them? Or I mean, did that strike you as odd at all, or does it not bother you?
I could care less when it comes to that. I mean, if we're gonna fight, we'll see each other eventually.
Nice. What do you think about the matchup you got? I mean, were you excited to put that one back together, or what?
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? He got away last time, but he can't get away this time, so we're here. I have a lot of respect for Alex, being a former Oklahoma State wrestler. That's my favorite team in college wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Pat Smith, first ever four-timer in NCAA Division I, was my club wrestling coach in high school. So I've been an Okie State fan pretty much since I was a kid, and to get the chance to compete against, an old cowboy, I respect Alex. But at the end of the day, for me, it's a big opportunity to show people that you might have a better wrestling pedigree than me, but you ain't gonna be able to do it to me. And B, I'm complete everywhere. So I'm taking this very, very seriously because Alex's pedigree and all that.
Nice. Last thing for me, I got to ask you, obviously you want to get back in the win column here, but what is the goal? I mean, do you feel like you've got to make a statement to people that you're back on track or anything like that? I mean, what's the goal here?
I mean, as far as making a statement, I think my performance is going to make the statement for itself no matter what. I came into the UFC at 4-0, you know what I'm saying? A lot of hype around me because the name, the hair, all that good stuff. I had a good performance on The Ultimate Fighter, and, there's a lot of hype. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on me, and, I've been growing I've been having to grow in my career in the UFC. There's not too many people that have that chance, you know what I'm saying? And I think for once, people are going to see the Violent Bob Ross they've always been waiting for in this fight. Trust me. My coaches at American Top Team said this last camp, they've never seen me as sharp, as focused, and just as leveled up as I am. Getting to work with Dustin for the Conor McGregor fight was really eye-opening. Watching Dustin do what he did to Conor truly raised my confidence in myself because that shit didn't happen to me in the training room like that. So I was very I'm ready to go. I'm ready to show people this is Violent Bob Ross's era. He's finna make that run.
So you mentioned how you had to sort of grow up in the UFC. Do you think for fans, whenever they watch you fight, you're just one of the fighters they're watching, they don't realize how difficult that is to actually come into the UFC at such an early part of your career?
Exactly, man. I really don't, it's nothing against the fans or anything because they only see what's put in front of them, you know what I mean? But yeah, at the end of the day, I really don't think, that a lot of people put any thought into that, and the fact that some of these guys are coming into they get signed 15, 20 fights into their career. And I had a very extensive amateur career, But it's completely different when you fighting under these big lights. You know what I mean? It's a completely different ball game. And like I said, like Dustin said, pressure makes diamonds, and I'm a diamond baby. But hey, sometimes you gotta sit under that pressure for a little bit longer to make that true crystal clear cut diamond.
I suspect I already know the answer to this, but would you have done it differently if you had another chance?
Hell nah.
Okay.
I love this journey I've been on, from the Ultimate Fighter to the ups and downs of my UFC career. It's been a wild ride, but I don't do it any differently. I love it. You know what I mean? I love being in the public eye. I love my fans. I love everything about being in the UFC. This drives me. This is what I live for. You know what I mean? I like this media day stuff, getting to talk to y'all. You know, I'm good at public speaking. I never had anything like this is what I was made to do. You know what I'm saying? Like my name, Luis Antonio Pena, directly translates to Great Warrior of the Rock. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. Like, this is what I was meant to do.
That's dope, man.
I did want to ask one follow-up. Who showed you the picture of the saint, and what was your thoughts when you first saw that?
Dog, so that is Saint Theodore, and it was one of my Russian fans. He sent me the idol because he said his son he just had a newborn son, and the Catholic Church presented him that idol, and as soon as he saw it, he was like, oh my God, that's Violent Bob Ross. What's really, really interesting, too, about St. Theodore is he was known as St. Theodore the Commander, the Dragon Slayer. So it's like, maybe your boy was a warrior back in the day as well. Anybody else? Oh, are we good?
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
What's up?
Chase, it's been a while, man. You had the big win almost a year ago. So what's been going on in the interim?
Oh man, and just life. I had that 9-month suspension, and then I just pretty much went back to being a dad and fireman and doing your daily training, things like that. Waiting for that to be over patiently.
I was gonna ask, is it difficult to focus on training, or is it easier? I don't know what it would be like during that time.
I mean, it's just part of your mundane routine, your daily routine. It's not as incorporated into your lifestyle as much as it is when you have a fight, obviously, because then everything's centralized around that. So, basically when you're off season, you're just adding tools to the tool bag, and then when you get ready for a fight, you're implementing those tools and getting ready to use them.
So then it came time to get ready. What changes? Did I read on social media? Did you step down as a firefighter?
Yeah, I had to take a leave of absence, man. It was a really tough decision, but unfortunately, where I live in Mississippi, I'm the only guy in the entire state in the UFC, so the bodies just really aren't there to compete at this level, and I kind of learned that the first go around in the UFC, and so I can't go train somewhere for 2 months and still be on with the department. And so they understood, and I have a job whenever this is all said and done, but I've, it's 10 years into this, you know what I'm saying? Like this is I'm married to the game, man. This is my life, and I can always be a firefighter, And
so as long as you're fighting, that's not like just for camp or anything. It's just as long as you're doing.
Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, I wanted to be able to go to camp and come back and take a leave of absence and stuff, but it's just that's for more for emergencies, the leave of absence thing. So, but the job's still there. We talked to the chief. I'll have a job when I'm done, and those guys still support me. And and half of them were like, "Dude, what the hell are you still doing here? Go chase your dreams."
That's awesome. So I'm curious kind of what that does. I mean, I guess that makes you a full-time fighter now, right? So I got to think there's benefits to that, recovery and focus and all that. But does it also bring some pressure as well? Like, hey, we're all in now. Like, what are the thoughts?
Nah, man. I mean, you would think, but like I said, I'm it kind of brings me peace. You know what I'm saying? When I know, like, hey, there's no regrets. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least I know I did everything I could to give myself the best shot. You know what I mean? And then I can live with that. So.
That's so you ended up in Colorado. Is that where you did camp?
Yeah, Team Elevation. Yeah.
Had you been going out there, or is this the first time?
Well, this is actually the second time. The first time I went, Alistair had brought me out to help him with Sakai, and I loved it. And he spoke highly of the gym there, and then the way that the format is implemented there is great, especially for fighters, because you have multiple gyms encompassing one team, and then all these coaches are working for you, and then you get to kind of hand select who you want to be in your corner. And it's just really good. It's like an open market out there.
Yeah, obviously, they've had a lot of success as a team. What do you think? I mean, will we see an evolution in your game, already this soon, or is that too quick to ask?
Yeah, man. I mean, you didn't see the evolution in my game when I returned. I mean, it's just I'm in a different state of mind, man. I'm telling everybody that like my mental is just it's different than it was before. I was a scared kid the first go round. You know what I mean? I've been through it now. I'm ready. Like I'm not concerned about the outcome of the fights. I'm out there to fully enjoy what I do. You know what I mean? And then let the cards fall where they fall. And I think you've seen that when I fought Ike, on a week's notice, and I hadn't been doing any training because I didn't even, COVID had just happened. They called me out of nowhere, and I was just, mentally, I was just like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like you just couldn't. There wasn't nothing you could do to break that, and I think it showed. So, yeah, I'm a different fighter now, man.
Late change of opponent here, but I got to imagine they put the name on the table, a former champion, a legend. It had to excite you?
Yeah, for sure. At first I was like, man, maybe I should, I was like, I was trying to think with my head a little too much. Like maybe we should just play this slow and then just wait till July to fight the opponent that we've trained for, and not get, over our heads. And then I went home and I talked to one of my coaches, and I was like, this is happening for a reason, you know what I mean? And now it's my time. I've put in the damn effort and the work and the sacrifice for 10 years. It's fucking my time. I deserve this opportunity, and I'm gonna go fully embellish it. I'm gonna go finish this cat.
Awesome. Well, last question for me. I mean, going out there, knowing kind of all that's happened and changed and moved. I mean, do you feel like it's just go out there and get a win, or do you feel like, man, I gotta go out there and do something spectacular and just make like this announcement to the world?
I don't feel obligated to do anything, but I can tell you what I know I want to do, and what I really believe is going to happen. I feel like I'm going to run through them. I really do, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just don't see any other way around it. It's hard to explain, man. I got the blinders on. I'm just, I'm going straight through this cat.
Do you feel like it's almost the universe giving you some payback, that you had to take your fight on a week's notice and now he has to take this fight on a week's notice?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you think it's kind of funny that you had to take your fight on a week's notice and now he has to do the same thing with you?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's a blessing, man, and I commend him for taking that fight on a week's notice. You know what I'm saying? There's no bad blood there, but and he's an OG. You know what I mean? He's been in the game for a long time, and it's an honor to share the cage with Andrei. But at the same time, like, I can't think about that. You know what I mean? I got a task at hand, and I can worry about everything else that comes after it. You know what I mean? This is a fight. It's just a fight. It's another man, and that's how I'm approaching the situation.
Last thing from me, with the changes you made and stepping away from your other job, did you know once I get a chance to get back in the UFC, that's what you were going to do, that you had to go all in this second time round?
Yeah, until I could build up a big enough name and following and get kind of bring people in from, other parts of the country to come train with me down in Mississippi. That's what I'm going to have to do, you know what I mean? And so I didn't know I was going to have to actually leave the department. I thought maybe we could do a leave of absence, but it didn't happen that way. So it is what it is.
Good luck for Saturday.
Thank you. All right.
Will not be participating in today's media day. That's all the info I have at the moment. Waiting more details. As soon as we'll be here, we'll let you guys know where we stand. Correct. Just for right now, he's not participating in today's media day. That's all we have right now.